All right, this is problem number 76. It's one of the word problems that didn't have steps in the book. It says the drama club sold T student tickets. So we know that T is the variable we're going to use. And let me write that down. We should always write our variables down when we choose them, so we can, remember what we're doing. So we have T equal student tickets. And then when they tell us something else, and we're going to want to make an expression for that, they tell us that we sold 100 fewer adult tickets. So if T was the number of student tickets, T minus 100 is going to be the number, it's a minus, of adult tickets. Okay, man, this is not, sorry about the writing, it just doesn't want to stick today. Okay, so now, they give us some other information. They tell us, they said how much money did the club collect, okay? So, now we're not going to be able to come up with an answer here that maybe thoroughly answered, I guess, because they didn't tell us. We need a little bit more information than that. Okay, let's just see how far we can get with it, though. A lot of times we're just supposed to write our expressions in terms of a variable. So there was 100, okay, what was each student ticket worth? They sold T of them, and if they cost $1.50 a piece, I could explain how much I collected from student tickets by saying that's $1.50 times T. And now I collected some more money, so I'm going to add in some more money. So we would have put a plus there. And 100 fewer adult tickets at $2.50 each, okay? So now, how many adult tickets did we sell? We sold T minus 100. There were 100 fewer adults than students. And they cost how much a piece? However many I sold, I can multiply that number by $2.50 a piece. So what we have to do here is just now simplify. We can write an expression for this, but we can't actually find the dollar amount as we don't have enough information given to us. That would be $1.50 T plus, now I'm going to distribute the $2.50. That's $2.50 times T, but then it's minus $2.50 times 100. And if you remember, when I multiply by 100, that just moves the decimal place to the right 2 spaces. So this minus $2.50 times 100 is actually going to just become minus $2.50. And I can combine these T terms up here. 1.50 T plus 2.50 T is 4T. 1.5 plus 2.5 adds up to 4T. So the total amount of money that they collected was 4T minus $2.50. So 4 times the number of tickets sold, $4 times the number of tickets sold, but then we're going to subtract out $2.50. We can't actually get a number there. Okay, for number 79, it's at the bottom of the page. I just taken a picture off my computer to make these videos. Amy has $8 less than Maria. So if we call A the amount of money that Amy has, and that's what I'm going to do just for a minute. We may do some changes, but we're going to go ahead and Amy, what does she have? What's the amount of money she have equal to? 8 less than Maria. So whatever Maria has, Amy has $8 less. I would subtract 8 from what Maria has. So I'm letting A be the amount of money Amy has, and M be the amount of money that Maria has. And it says together they have $30. Okay. Now, I could put Amy, the idea is to say Amy plus Maria, the amount of money they have anyway. I'll put dollars. Amy's dollars and Maria's dollars add up to $30. Now, I could say A plus M is 30, but if I did that, I wouldn't be able to solve it because I don't have enough information to solve it. But here's what I can do. Maria has M dollars, doesn't she? And look over here. Didn't we describe Amy in terms of Maria? we have A in terms of M is how we say that. Amy, I could put an A, or I could put M minus 8, because what she has is Maria minus 8. I could put that in parentheses, but I'm just not going to, because I don't really need it here since it's the first term that I put in there. Okay, and when we add their money together, they have $30. Okay, so now if you look at this, this is pretty easy to solve now, because you have an M and another M. That makes 2M. Minus 8 is 30, and we want to solve for the M. We want to get it by itself. So in order to get it by itself, we do PEMDAS backwards, which says, okay, the first thing I could do is, I know I'm always going to do the opposite thing, but I need to do any adding or subtraction that I can do first. Well, since I have a minus 8, that's a plus 8, and I get, okay, when I simplify that, that's going to be 2M on one side and 38 on the other. So since 2M is 38, if I want to get M by itself now, I could, to get rid of the 2, it's multiplied by 2. M is multiplied by 2, so I will divide by 2. And we find out that Maria has $19. So if Maria has $19, you should always write your answers to word problems in complete sentences. Maria has $19. And so then how much would Amy? She has Maria minus 8. So what you're doing is you're plugging in 19 for how much Maria has. 19 minus 8 is $11. I'll try to get that where you can read it. It's just, unfortunately, this is what the iPad picks up. But Amy has $11. All we had to do was plug that in. Okay? Okay, so for number 80, the problem is at the bottom of the screen. It says at the homecoming football game, the senior class officers sold slices of pizza for 75 cents a piece. Okay, we can read that 75 cents. Well, I'm going to write pizza cost 75 cents, and we're just going to leave it as like 0.75, okay? Doing the best I can here, guys, but you're going to have to listen to be able to read this. And they sold hamburgers. I'm going to put HB for hamburgers. Hamburgers cost $1.35 a piece. And they sold 40 more slices of pizza than hamburgers. Okay, and I'm going to go back to something that I always tell students in 7th grade when they're learning how to do word problems. When you look down here at this picture, it says they sold 40 more slices of pizza than hamburgers. You see this more than right here? Usually what comes after the more than is going to be a good variable to choose. So I'm going to choose H for hamburgers. That's the number of hamburgers, okay? I'll just write it down here, number of hamburgers. Now, if I want to describe, so I've got I sold, H equal number sold. Okay. Now, how am I going to describe pizza? The reason that hamburgers make such a good variable is, didn't I sell 40 more slices of pizza than hamburgers? So if I want to describe how much pizza was sold, I could put P for pizza, but then it's really kind of hard to solve an equation with two variables. What I can do is say that it's however many hamburgers it was sold, and we add 40 more. So I could describe it as P, but I also could describe it as H plus 40, and that way I only have one variable. And the reason that's going to be nice in this situation is that now I can write an equation, because the amount of money from pizza, dollars from pizza, plus the dollars from hamburgers, I'll just put HB for hamburgers, when they sold it all, what did they earn? They earned $292.50. Okay, now I can describe how much money that we made from pizza, and I'll write it in red over here. I'll circle it in red to focus in on what we're looking at here. I sold H plus 40 pieces of pizza, and each piece of pizza costs 75 cents. So if I just multiply H times 40 by 75 cents, I'll know how much money I made from pizza. Okay, well now I've got to add in the money I made from hamburgers, and I'll do the hamburgers in green. Okay, So I sold H hamburgers, and each hamburger cost $1.35. If I multiply how many I sold times the cost of each one, that would be 1.35H. That would describe how much money I collected from hamburgers. So I could just write 1.35H. And when we add all that up, we know it's equal to 29.50. No, 292.15. Okay, that's a 2. Now, what I can do here to make my life a little bit easier if I want to is, I could multiply out with all these decimals, but do you remember that what you can do is I can come in and I can multiply each term times 100. And so I've got 3 terms here. This is a term, this is a term, and this is a term. If I multiply by 100, all that's going to do is move the decimal place over twice in each term. And I know there's variables in each term and stuff, but really I just have to multiply one thing by 100 in each term. So I'm going to put 100 up here, and I'm going to put 100 up here. I'm going to put 100 up here. I'm multiplying by 100 just to not use so much space. I'm going to just do it kind of like that, okay? Now 100 times 0.75 would be 75 times H plus 40. Now I don't have decimals. And 100 times $1.35, if I move the decimal place over, that's going to be plus 135 H's. And if I move the decimal place over, when I multiply 292.50 by 100, it would be 29250. Okay. Now let's just distribute, simplify, and we can solve, and we'll find out what H is. Now we'll find out H, but what they asked us for was how much pizza, so we'll have to plug that in to find out how much pizza we sold. So anyway, here we go distributing. 75 times H is 75H. 75 times 40, it would be a 0 carrier 2, 28 and 2 makes 30. So 75H plus 3,000 plus, and then we got the 135H, which just is sitting there. We didn't have to change it at all, equal 292.50. Okay, so 75H and 135H, if I combine like terms, 130 and 70 would be 200, but then I have to add another 10 to that. So that would be 210H plus 3,000 is equal to, it's not 292.5, it's 29250. Okay, so it doesn't have that decimal place because we got rid of it. So we subtract 3,000 from each side, and we get 210H is equal to 0.5262 if we subtract. I'm trying to do this in my head because I don't have a calculator handy. And so now if I want to figure out how much H is, I need to divide both sides by 210. Okay, that's the same thing as dividing 2625 by 21, since we could just cross the zeros off the end. 21 goes into 26 one time. We'd have 5 left over, bring down your 2. 21 goes into 52 4 times. 21 goes into 52 4 times, so it would be 52 minus 48. And again, you could use your calculator. I'm just trying not to. And then I have 45 left over, so 21 goes into 45. Love the stylus. Wait, that's not right. Let me start this over. Should have just gotten a calculator, right? 21 into 2,625. That goes once. 6 minus 1 is 5. Bring down your 2. That just goes twice, not 4 times. 42. 105. That goes 5 times. Okay, so H is 125. I sold 125 hamburgers. But what they wanted to know is how much pizza did I sell. Well, the pizza was H plus 40. So it's just 125. Gosh, I can't even read that. 125 plus 40, which is I sold 165 slices of pizza.